Belal Muhammad didn't hold back when he shared his belief that Islam Makhachev could actually finish Jack Della Maddalena when the two finally clash at UFC 322.
I mean, I think my mindset, I think Islam can finish him on the ground.
Belal and Islam have a close bond, and their mutual respect runs deep. That friendship actually kept Makhachev from targeting him for the welterweight belt when Belal was champion. But once Maddalena dethroned him, that personal boundary no longer existed. For Islam, the timing lined up perfectly, a chance to chase new history without betraying a friend. While Makhachev eyes double champ status, Belal is preparing for his own test against Ian Gary in Qatar just a week later, a fight that could reshape his road back to contention.
I mean, I think my mindset, I think Islam can finish him on the ground for sure. And especially it's like we saw it with DDP. If you never felt one of those Dagestani style wrestlers, like you don't want it to be your first time in the cage feeling it.
Yeah.
And Islam and them, they have a different feel. They have a different type of grappling. So for JDM, even in our fight, he makes mistakes on the ground. He does a lot of stuff.
Meanwhile, Makhachev's longtime coach, Javier Mendez, has been buzzing about how well Islam has handled the move up to 170 pounds. When Makhachev first admitted he was struggling to fill out his new frame, some doubted whether he'd truly adjust. But according to Mendez, those worries are ancient history now. The coach described walking into camp and being stunned at how physically strong and balanced Islam looked. More filled out, more natural, and more confident in the heavier class. Mendez couldn't hide his excitement, saying Makhachev seemed sharper than ever and completely dialed in. For him, the version of Islam about to walk into Madison Square Garden isn't just bigger, it's better.
I watched him train, I watched what he was doing, and I was so impressed. And then he did his first sparring, and I was blown away. I was blown away how good he got, how well he adjusted to the weight. I was blown away. So I'm very confident in him, and regardless what anybody says, he's still number one pound for pound in my eyes. So that's my guy, pound for pound number one, Islam Makhachev. And the new version of him is coming, November 15th at Madison Square Garden, and he will be the new welterweight UFC champion.
Dan Hooker, who knows firsthand what it's like to be submitted by Makhachev, admitted that it's a massive leap. Hooker, ever the realist, acknowledged the courage it takes to move up and fight a beast like Maddalena. He called it a huge ask and pointed out that even Khabib Nurmagomedov, Islam's mentor and one of the greatest lightweights in history, never went after a second belt. While Hooker hopes Maddalena can defend their region's pride, he also tipped his hat to Makhachev for daring to attempt something so few ever do.
Like, credit to Islam, like doing something that even Khabib didn't dare to try, which is move up a weight class. He's got his own problems. Jack Della's that's a big boy. I've stood next to Jack Della a few times, and you could chop off one of his legs and he's still not going to make lightweight. Like, he is a legitimate welterweight problem, and that obviously takes away a lot of Islam's advantages by coming in there and being a big lightweight, being a strong lightweight.
Ian Machado Gary offered a more tactical breakdown. For him, the fight comes down to one question. Can Maddalena stop the takedown over and over again? Gary believes Jack's striking is cleaner and sharper, and if the fight stays standing, it's his to win. But if Makhachev gets a hold of him, that's where things could turn ugly. Gary's focus was on how much Jack has improved since his last test against an elite grappler, and whether those adjustments can hold up for 25 grueling minutes.
The fight for me really is, when Islam grabs a hold of Jack, how good has Jack improved? Because Islam is world class at that, and has been for probably his entire life because of the way he trains and where he has come from. So can Jack stop that consistently, like he did against Belal? Because he did a phenomenal job against Belal at stopping that. But can he do that against someone who's just cleaner, more technical? On the feet, I think Jack wins it cleanly. I think he'll jab, switching stances. He'll have a bit more fluidity due to the fact that Islam's not going to be changing stances so regularly. So I think Jack can do it on the feet, but the question mark is, can he stop the takedown consistently over 5 rounds?
Alexander Volkanovski understands better than anyone what Makhachev brings to the table. Yet, even he thinks Maddalena might be the one to crack the code. Volkanovski admired how Jack handled Belal's pressure, stuffed takedowns, and kept control of the fight. To him, that calmness under pressure could be exactly what's needed to survive Islam's grinding approach. He sees Jack as someone who doesn't panic and can adapt mid-fight, traits that might give him the slimmest of openings to pull off the upset.
JDM is getting ready for Islam Makhachev. How dangerous is he for Islam? So he's going to be an absolute nightmare. We've got Belal, who's a wrestler. Look how we handle that. And you know he's a beast on the feet. Islam's not taking this one lightly. So him moving up, I still think he's a nightmare for a lot of the people in the division, but I think JDM can do it.
Carlos Prates echoed that sentiment. What impressed him most about Maddalena wasn't just his skill, but his composure. He saw a level of patience and maturity in Jack's performance against Belal that few young fighters possess. For Prates, it's not about whether Jack can stop every takedown, it's about staying calm long enough to wear Islam down. He even predicted that if Jack keeps that steady mindset, he could drag Makhachev into deep waters and edge out a decision victory.
The main event is also in your weight class, JDM and Islam. Who do you think is going to win that?
I think the favorite is Islam, but Jackie show like he grew up a lot as a fighter. Since he stopped fight now, he was a long time without fight, almost 2 years, and he got really good skills to fight Belal Muhammad, defense takedowns. So I think he's gonna win.
You think Jack is going to win?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you think he wins a decision, or do you think he stops him?
I think decision is really hard fight.
Do you think Islam stays at 170 or he goes back?
If he loses, I don't know. It depends how he feels during the fights. How close is gonna be the fight, you know?
Steve Erceg went a step further in his praise. He called Jack's win over Belal one of the greatest new performances ever by an Australian in the UFC. Erceg highlighted how Maddalena never lost focus, picked his shots perfectly, and executed a near-flawless strategy under pressure. He even compared Jack's striking rhythm to the moments when Dustin Poirier had brief success against Makhachev. Only this time, Steve Erceg believes Jack's timing and heavier hands could make those moments count for real damage. In his mind, this is the fight where Maddalena's precision might finally expose weaknesses no one else has managed to find.
Yes, I mean, I've known for a very long time that Jack is an amazing fighter. He's really good, and he shocked me on how good he was. Like, he handled the grappling exchanges so well, and it's the best striking performance I've seen from him. Like, he just, like, the big moment, like, he rose to the occasion. It was, like, fantastic to see. And I really do think, I do think that the grappling from Islam, like, he's a better technical grappler than Belal is, but he's not quite as big. He's not as imposing. And yeah, if you look at the Dustin Poirier fight, Poirier was able to stop some of his takedown and win some scrambles and stuff like that. I feel like not only will Jack be able to do that, but when he lands punches, it's going to be way more devastating.
Robert Whittaker naturally threw his support behind Jack too. Having fought in both the middleweight and welterweight divisions, Whittaker knows the impact of size differences at this level. He views Jack as a fighter who thrives in chaos but never loses head. Maddalena believes Whittaker doesn't need to completely neutralize Makhachev's wrestling, he just needs to stop it from becoming a smothering, one-sided affair. If Jack can keep the fight in the middle of the cage, make Islam respect his power and avoid being pinned down, Whittaker sees a real chance for a stunning upset.
As you can be.
Because I think Jack has that X factor. I think he has the gut, the grit, the determination to fight the takedowns, to fight the ground, the takedown attacks that Islam is going to go for. And I think in a striking fight, straight up, Jack is better. I think he wins in the hands. Yeah. I think Jack's got the better game to strike over 5 rounds than Islam does as well, especially if Islam is trying to go for takedowns during the fight. Yeah. I think, and this is people sleep on Jack's grappling game. They sleep on his jiu-jitsu. I don't think Islam is going to be as like gun-ho with the takedowns as everybody believes, because Jack has that level of offense off his back.
Philip Rowe offered one of the more physical arguments in Jack's favor. In his view, Makhachev's body type is simply built for lightweight, not welterweight. Rowe suggested that bigger and stronger opponents could overwhelm Islam over time, making it harder for him to control them like he used to. He pictured a scenario where Maddalena's speed, output, and power slowly wear Islam down, turning the fight into a battle of attrition that favors the naturally larger man.
Philip Rowe, what's cracking, man?
Chilling.
Hey, now listen, you're welterweight, you've been in the game a long time. Islam moving up to 170. Is he big enough for 170?
My personal opinion, I don't think he is, but he's a champ. We'll see when he's there. You know what I'm saying? He has a fight. He's fighting the champ. That's the best 170 in the world right now, right? So
Right.
we'll see.
So you don't think he has the size, but how do you think he does in the fight versus JDM?
I personally think JDM beats him. I think JDM will be able to get up if he does take him down. I don't think he'll be able to take JDM shots. I think personally he'll stop Islam.
Max Holloway looked at things from a mental and strategic standpoint. He sees the matchup as a chess game between two brilliant minds, one who constantly adjusts and one who sticks to his plan with machine-like discipline. Holloway pointed out that Maddalena has a rare ability to make real-time adjustments mid-fight, something that could make this battle fascinating. He predicted a tactical back and forth where even the smallest decision, a feint, a grip change, a defensive angle, could completely flip the outcome.
Your thoughts on Islam moving up to welterweight?
I think he'd be fine, man. I think he'd be good, you know. He's number 2 pound for pound in the world. You gotta respect that, but don't sleep on Jack. I think it's gonna be a tough fight. Jack is one of the best fighters in the world right now, and when that match happens, I'm hearing rumors maybe October. I think it's gonna be a fun fight, smart fight, but a lot of people counting out Jack.
Gilbert Burns offered one of the most balanced takes. He believes the move to welterweight could actually make Makhachev stronger, not weaker. Without the brutal weight cuts, Islam might perform with more energy, sharper focus, and greater endurance. But Burns also emphasized that Maddalena won't be walking into this fight unprepared. With submission expert Craig Jones, the same coach who helped Volkanovski prepare for Islam, guiding his ground game, Jack has been building the exact skill set needed to counter a Dagestani-style grappler. Burns described it as a true chess match between two of the most well-prepared teams in the sport, one that could genuinely go either way depending on whose strategy lands first.
Islam's working very hard. He's been saying vocal that he wants to go up to 170. I think he's a big boy. He killed himself to make 55. I think that's the right division for Islam. He just tweeted something after the fight that he will not vacate the title, and then he vacated the title. I don't know, but probably that was in the negotiation. Yeah, I like him moving up. I proven himself. He's number 1 pound for pound right now. It's a good fight. Jack and Islam closer than people think, especially with Jack Della Maddalena doing a lot of training with Volk, with Craig Jones, those guys that kind of back the Islam on that first Volk fight. I think they're going to have a lot of info, a lot of study, a lot of answers. It's closer than people think, this fight. I really like this fight. I don't have time right now. I didn't have time to dig deep a little too much in that fight, but I think it's way closer than people think, and JDM has a clear shot on beating.
Stephen Thompson remains cautious about Maddalena's chances. Having faced some of the most dangerous strikers and wrestlers in the welterweight division, Thompson knows the difference between beating contenders and facing a champion of Makhachev's caliber. He respects Jack's meteoric rise, but wonders if this challenge might be coming a bit too soon. Thompson reminded everyone that fighters like Shavkat Rakhmonov and Ian Gary are waiting in the wings, meaning the division isn't getting any easier. In his eyes, Maddalena might have taken a massive risk by accepting this fight now, one that could either make him a star or expose his limits.
Who do you think wins that fight between Islam and Jack Della Maddalena?
Well, first off, I gotta say, if I was Shavkat Rakhmonov or Ian Gary or somebody that is right there who's really worked hard to get there, I'd be pretty pissed. Because, you know, this guy, JDM, just got the title, and then he's giving somebody else a shot at what I've earned the right to have, you know, which is the title shot. Like, give JDM a shot at, you know, give him 1 or 2 more guys. If he beats them, then give him somebody outside the division. But I would be kind of pissed. I would be kind of upset that they're giving this guy immediately somebody from 155 division. Now, I think it's a very tough fight for Islam Makhachev. Bigger guy. Somebody who won the title from somebody with a similar style in Belal Muhammad. Mm-hmm. I do believe Islam Makhachev striking is a lot better than Belal Muhammad's, but their pressure, their cardio, their wrestling background, fairly similar. Obviously, I think one would be better than the other, but he's faced somebody a lot exactly like him. So I think it would be a tough fight for Islam for sure.
In the end, opinions about Islam Makhachev's move to welterweight are split down the middle. His teammates and coaches see him as the same unstoppable force, only stronger and more refined. His critics and rivals, however, question whether his grappling dominance will hold up against bigger, heavier men. Belal Muhammad's bold claim that Islam can finish Jack Della Maddalena set off a wave of debates across the MMA world, with everyone from Volkanovski to Holloway weighing in. Whether it ends in another Makhachev masterclass or a shocking Australian upset, UFC 322 is shaping up to be more than just a title fight. It's a defining moment for two fighters chasing history in very different ways.